Hello, and welcome to the Rustica Hardware Showroom here in Springville, Utah. My name is Tiffany, and today I'm going to help walk you through a horizontal slat door assembly. But first things first, let's make sure we have our proper tools needed. You will need your barn door assembly kit, complete with installation instructions, as well as your door lag bolts, a mallet to tap and tighten everything and keep the door squared as we go, and last, a ratchet with a 7/16 socket. Our first step is to take everything out of the box and lay it flat on the floor or your workspace. As you can see, I've already done so. But before we begin assembly, let's make sure we review some key components of our door. You'll find 2 vertical stiles. This will complete your frame along with 2 rails, both top and bottom. Make sure you differentiate which is top and which is bottom. You'll find a mortise groove in the bottom, which will be there to accommodate our door guide in the end. You'll also find your inner slats that are complete with both tongue and groove, as you can see here. And 2 of your slats will be slightly different than the others. Though one may have a tongue and the other will have a groove, they will both be flush on one end. This will be the portion that you tuck into your frame. Now that we've reviewed our pieces, we're ready to begin assembly. Let's first start by creating a right angle with your stile and bottom rail. Then you'll take your end slat and slide it into both rail and stile. And slide the tongue and grooves as you go. Try to keep everything as tight as you can as you go. And if it's loose, we could always mallet it at the end. Once you've connected your inner slats, make sure they seem flush on the other edge. If not, again, you got your mallet. Once it seems tight enough, we could go ahead and connect the stile and then the rail. Now that we have our door assembled, we want to make sure it's nice and squared. If not, take your mallet and tap it flush. Once it's good and flush, we can secure it with our door lag bolts. You'll find your door lag bolts once again in your assembly kit, not to be confused with your wall lag bolts. The easy way to tell the difference is that your door lag bolts are longer and smaller in diameter. Once you grab a lag, take a corner and secure it. Hold your door lag as straight as possible while securing it with your ratchet. Now, as you get to the end of your lag bolt, you want to make sure you tighten it firm but not too tight. This is to prevent splitting of the wood and tearing the head off your lag bolt. Now that we've assembled our barn door, we're now ready to mount the hangers. But first, let's make sure that we once again have our proper tools needed. You will need your hangers, hex bolts laced with their washers, and accompanying acorn nuts from your hanger assembly kit, a 1/8 drill bit, a Forstner bit, and a 3/8 drill bit. Don't forget your measuring tape and pencil to make your marks for your pilot holes. Take a hanger and lay it flush on the face of the door. You will want to measure 2 inches in from the edge of door. And 2 3/8 from the top of door to bottom of wheel. Go ahead and make your marks. And now we're ready to drill our pilot holes. Once again, you will need your 1/8 drill bit. And for this step, you may want to move to a sawhorse or lean your door up so you don't drill any holes into your floor. we've created our pilot holes, we'll use our Forstner bit to countersink about 7/16 to a ½ inch. We have now flipped the door. Using the pilot holes as my guide, I will drill with a 3/8 drill bit and widen the holes for my hex bolts. We will repeat the process on the other side. Flip the door once again and take your hex bolts laced with their washers and slide them into the countersunk holes. Then secure your hanger with the provided acorn nuts. Once you've completed the step, you'll repeat the process on the opposite side. Then we're ready to go hang that track.
We're now at a home location getting ready to mount our header and track, but let's first make sure we have the proper tools. You're going to need a drill, a Phillips bit, and 1/8 drill bit, your level, stud finder, measuring tape, and pencil. And at this point, it doesn't hurt to have a little help. This is my friend Noah. He's going to help me out through the next couple steps. Today I'll be using our optional header to mount our system. First, we need to mark our center point of the track and header. In order to do so, you'll take your door height plus 2 1/8 inches. Since my door is 84 inches tall, I'll be measuring 86 inches and 1/8 from the ground. Now we're ready to mark the studs for the length of the track and header. Next, we're ready to determine the placement of our header to keep our door centered to the opening. Since my opening is 31 inches and the door is 36, I'll have a good 2 1/2 inches overlay on each side. Since the header extends 2 inches past the door edge, I will measure 4 1/2 inches from the opening. Now that we've made our marks, I'm ready to secure the header. I will drill the pilot holes and secure with grabber screws while Noah holds it in place. Perfect. Now that I have the pivot screw in place, Noah will help me while I level the header. Okay, up a little. Now that we've anchored the header at the right-hand corner and secured the rest of it with grabber screws, we are ready to mount the track. Some additional tools you will need for this step is your drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit, your ratchet with a 9/16 socket, and your tape measure. Let's measure for those track holes. You will need to measure 3 inches down and 3 inches in from the edge of header. As we thread our track, you will start with a spacer, track, doorstop, washer, with your lag screw going through it all. Noah, if I can grab your help. You will mount to the pilot hole that we pre-drilled, but be sure not to tighten it too tight because we will need to swing it around and mount the opposite side. Level the track and mark the remaining holes. Thanks. Once we've secured our spacers and lags to the track, we're now ready to hang our door. Noah, if you could give me a hand. Make sure it slides freely with no obstructions. We're now ready to install our anti-jump bracket. This piece keeps the door from jumping track. Take the bracket and place it flush against the door, about 1/8 down from the bottom of track. Mark the holes. And drill the pilot holes. Keep it as straight as possible. and secure with your grabber screws. After you install your anti-jump bracket on the opposite side of your door, you're ready to install your pole. Measure 36 inches from the bottom of door. Mark it. And that mark will be the center of your pole. Mark the holes. And secure with grabber screws. We are now installing the door guide. This is the piece that keeps the door in place and prevents the door from swinging. Go ahead and slide the door guide about halfway into the door and secure with a grabber screw. Slide the door to the opposite end and repeat the process to the other side. Now that we've completed installing our barn door, you get to enjoy it and show it off. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact us.